Hey, good morning.
There's the real intro. Good morning, folks. Welcome to the South Texas TV studios.
I don't know who you were talking to, what you were talking
You
about.
know who I was talking to.
I know who you were talking to. They don't, but they will shortly.
It's a great thing about radio.
It is a great thing about radio. Hot mics. Hot mics.
It seem hot. Welcome, Magic 95.9 listeners. Thank you for yesterday. You were our only outlet.
Yep. Welcome back, everybody on Facebook.
We have the internet back today, and we are rolling.
We do.
It's funny how you just take things for granted.
Really do, especially the internet. Absolutely. So, good morning, everybody. Welcome to the South Texas TV studio. Wade and Carter Show. Lots to get to today. Wade and Carter weather brought to you by the fine folks at AT Deerlam Hay and Feed Store. Stop by, talk to Jackie. She'll tell you all about the liquid feed program that they have that'll help your cattle get through these trying times, your animals, your livestock get through these trying times as grass is just not growing because we got no water, no rain. But they've got a liquid feed program that can help you and help your cattle.
There'll be a trend today. It'll be talking about turning it up a notch, whether it be the Astros or Hurricane Lee. The weather's doing the same. It's 77 degrees right now in Victoria, but it's going to be 103 today. Whereas yesterday the high was only listed as 101, and it got to about 105.
Yeah, so they had to.
I think they're
split
downplaying the
bit.
weather because we all agree once it gets over 100, it's just so hot you're pretty much indoors as much as you can be. I think they're trying to downplay the temperatures to keep people from getting depressed.
You think that's it?
Yeah. I think they're saying, it's going to be 101. That was the high all week, 101.
Yeah.
But it was 103, 105. It's real. The heat is real.
The heat is real.
It's fueling storms.
And for those that pay attention, and I kind of casually notice this, some of these tropical depressions that turned into tropical storms and hurricanes that just kind of went out into the Atlantic and never really threatened anything, some of their origins were a lot further north in the Atlantic than I've ever noticed them.
I think the warmer waters, the origin waters are creeping up. Maybe
I do.
You may be onto something. Maybe they start typically in water that's at a certain temperature, and that water has migrated north with this season of heat.
Yeah.
And as a result, they're forming a little further north. There's Roy Gutierrez. Good morning, brother.
We've got Hurricane Lee sitting there.
Seeing Roy reminds me, tomorrow, tell me again, 11 o'clock they're going to leave. Velocity Motorsports, $20. It's a Patriot ride. It's being brought to you by the folks at Warriors Weekend.
Fundraiser for them.
Fundraiser, $20. Bring your ride. They're going to leave, drive around.
And then end up at the wellhead. Yeah.
So
at some point.
$20. Be there.
But Hurricane Lee is now a major hurricane, Cat 5.
That's a big one. And it's heading straight towards Florida.
That's Tropical Storm Margot. And it's kind of heading out up into the Atlantic. It's not going to do anything, but Lee could be problematic for the East Coast.
Lee looks like, what is that right above? Is that Georgia?
Yeah.
Yeah. Northern Florida.
Still too early to tell, but
yeah, it doesn't look.
I hope it doesn't do.
It would have a hard time.
And come.
It would have a hard time
in between. Hispaniola in Florida.
No, I think we're okay. You mean Cuba? Cuba? Yeah. 77 to 101. Thank you, Deerland Feed. 103 today.
Greg Garcia checking in. The Iceman.
Good morning, brother.
We're huge in Robstown, Texas.
Why wasn't Greg listening yesterday was it day before?
Yeah, it was Tuesday, yeah.
She said he wasn't listening.
He listens to her all day. He doesn't have to listen to her on the radio, too.
True story. Even when she's not there, he still hears her. Fold the clothes. Yeah. Change the laundry.
Pick up the trash.
Take the trash out. Wash my car.
Mow the lawn.
Sure.
Car needs gas.
That was this morning.
Are we projecting?
Yeah, that was this morning. I'm blessed. Donnie and I have had a great week. We just take it one week at a time.
Will Vincent, good morning.
What did Stephanie Conti
I'm going to get to that in a second because
tribe?
It's interesting. I read some stuff yesterday on that topic alone. Roy Gutierrez, good morning. Tammy Keeling.
Hello, Tammy.
Steve Kidder, Will Vincent, great football game last night. I didn't watch it. I was watching U.S. Open. Pretty good tennis matches.
apparently the Detroit Lions put it to Kansas City
Wow,
Chiefs.
edged them. I'm not say put it to, but they
Throttled
hung tough.
Clown stomped them. That's
Beat
what they're
'em.
doing. I wonder if there was any furniture burnt out in the streets in downtown Detroit yesterday. Such a nice place, Detroit. Is that Ilhan Omar?
No, she's Minnesota.
Minnesota.
Yeah. No, I mean they only beat the reigning Super Bowl champs. They almost won the Super Bowl for Detroit. That's pretty good for them.
It's pretty good. Hello,
They've been
Bill
so
Buzz.
bad for so long. Trying to get to my I think they won by one. I think 21-20. There we go.
21-20. Campbell says week 1 versus Chief.
Yep. Chiefs played without Travis Kelce, tight end.
What is
When
exactly
Kelce was
knee?
hit, Kelce got hurt. I don't know exactly what it was, but they held him out. But the line went from Kansas City being 6.5 point favorites to Kelce being listed as
questionable,
unable to play or out for the game, and
Right.
the line dropped to 4 points. He's worth 2.5 points according to the odds makers in Vegas.
I'll go this far. Without him, they don't win the Super Bowl again. Not this year.
Without him, they couldn't beat the Lions.
No, they won't. He is integral. Their tight end is important to them.
Steve Kidder, Patricia Nagel, Ricky King, good morning. I know Marvin Mickers is in. There's Crystal Mapp checking
Hello,
in. Junior
Crystal Mapp.
Samples, Kendra Douglas, Lisa Poole, Linda Christ, Stephanie Conti, Scott Snow, Diane Tippett, Bobby Leister, Justin Glass, Judge Posey, Scott
Judge.
Tomko. Good morning, everybody. Glad you're all here.
What did Stephanie say?
And that's where I'm getting down to.
Okay, I know you're busy. We only have an hour.
Also touch on the climate control scientist that has admitted in order to get his paper published, he had to leave out pertinent information, like, for example, 80% of fires are started by humans, not climate issues, and on and on. Yeah, this was picked up by the New York Post. It was published elsewhere first. And this is a climate scientist who, in that article in the Post, said that climate science is a lot more complex, and the results of climate change are not as simple as humans bad, stop doing what you're doing.
Right.
And the wildfires and everything as well. But he basically admitted in this article that in order to, you can do all your research and everything else, right? But if you want to have a livelihood as a scientist, you can't go and publish that research.
Right.
You have to publish the research that you know
fits their
and
narrative.
the papers is going to fit their narrative, is exactly what he said.
Amen. I believe that. Good morning, Matt Boucher.
So an interesting peek behind the curtain of what's driving this, and it's money, it's research dollars, it's putting food on the table. And I mean, when you can you blame them in a way?
So the left wants you to believe that the wildfires that seem so rampant are a result of climate change,
yeah.
as opposed to people are starting fires and that may actually be causing some climate change. What did you read?
and what they've determined, at least in Canada, is most of them have been deliberately set. They're charging people with arson for the wildfires in Canada. It's in a bunch of lightning strikes. They've had no rain.
Bunch of Canadians. What did you read in that article I sent you yesterday about NASA?
Oh, basically, they've been given a blank checkbook to do whatever the hell they want.
Yeah, that's what I gathered.
And they want to keep doing whatever the hell they want at whatever cost. We'll figure that out later. These big, large rockets that they're sending, trying to send everything up into space.
That's not sustainable.
No.
What do they call
economically?
it? SLS?
Yeah, something like that.
Something
SLS.
launch system. Like, basically, you send stuff to the moon and you stage it, then you go there and load up, and then you go on to Mars, and they're saying it's not sustainable. It won't work. NASA admits it with their own study.
And the General Accounting Office says, yeah, we probably can't do this. But then NASA says, well, we'll just figure it out in 5 years from now. We'll move some numbers around. And they're still basing all of their costs on their projected costs, not the actual costs, is what I read.
Sounds like the government.
And now the government's telling them, well, that's not the way you should be doing things. Speaking of the government.
Do it as we say, not as we do.
Yeah, speaking of the government, Joe Biden says that he wants to hire women for infrastructure jobs. as part of the infrastructure bill, because only roughly 20% of all jobs currently involved in infrastructure involve women. And I don't have a problem with this. I have a problem with checking boxes to fill positions just to check boxes and not hire the best people.
True that.
And the way this administration handles things, I can just imagine some bridge will collapse somewhere, because instead of hiring people that actually knew what they were doing, they hired a bunch of people just to check a bunch of boxes.
Well, I saw one the other day, and I thought it was interesting because it's the hypocrisy of the left. I saw a deal with Kamala Harris promoting that President Biden and I have appointed more black federal judges than the previous 8 administrations, something like that. It was a bragging point for them. And I thought, and I did say to the vice president with some other expletives, why can't you guys just say we have promoted and positioned the finest group of judges over the last 8 terms? Why do you have to say black judges? They may be black, but you should be putting the very best people in the position, and I have no doubt that they could be black and be the best people. But it seems like the Democrats can't get there. They're like, hey, not only that, we promoted some black people. Certainly there were white people and Asian people who were better, but we did it for the blacks. That's kind of their tone. I don't understand that.
Well, it's
Clarence
kind of the
Thomas,
takeaway, because they never ever mention their credentials or what they bring to the bench.
No, that's the whole point.
Other than that they check boxes.
Like, to me, I've got the world of respect for, say, a guy like Brett Kavanaugh, for what he went through to get on the Supreme Court. And I'll tell you, Clarence Thomas is smarter than Brett Kavanaugh. It's got nothing to do with being black. He's just Clarence
Smarter.
Thomas. So why do you have to tell me it would be...
Loved him with the E Street Band and the saxophone.
He was great, the big man. You and I would never, ever have this conversation. Hey, hired a new soccer coach, black girl, got me a black girl. We would never have that conversation.
No.
And yet I know you would interview anybody regardless of the pigment of their skin. And the best coach is going to get the gig.
I hire the best candidate available.
Absolutely. I just don't.
Yeah.
And it's such a twist. And here's what the deal is. Maybe the older I get, because wisdom is for old people, and I'm not wise. I'm not trying to be. I'm just telling you that the older I get, the more I realize that the people that give you information assume you are dumb. Their narrative only works if you're stupid. And they count upon that. President
Boy,
Biden,
that's a good segue into what is being revealed in South Africa, and likely similar to every country around the world. But South Africa was forced, the government of South Africa was forced to reveal. Jenny Alvarez checking in. Greg Garcia says he was teaching his history class. That's where he was. Gary Bump, good morning. Dottie Bitterly, Pat McDonald, we're huge in Weatherford. Cody Bauman.
Hello,
Peter
Pat.
McNally lost a draft pass yesterday, he says. David Glass. Hey, look at H.R. Mallory checking in.
How did he do that?
I don't know.
It's very odd. Well, he's got new stripes on his sleeve. I don't know how he's going to walk. That left arm's getting heavy.
Daniel Wade White. Well, he does have a bit of a limp, I noticed this
Oh,
morning.
he's got one on the right side, too. There you go. They evened it out. Yeah, there you go.
But thanks to a group of citizens in South Africa, which I would never have thought that this would have seen the light of day out of South Africa with the way that government's going. But they spent, I don't know how much money and all their time, effort, and resources into, I think, a 2-year battle to get the agreement and the contract that the government of South Africa entered into with Pfizer.
It's pretty incredible. Read that statement. It's a short paragraph.
Yeah.
Listen to this, folks.
Purchaser acknowledgement Section 5.5 of the contract that the government of South Africa entered into with Pfizer. Now, we'll break down the gobbledygook and lawyer speak in here, but just listen to this. Purchaser acknowledgement is the Section 5.5. Purchaser acknowledges that the vaccine and materials related to the vaccine and their components and constituent materials are being rapidly developed due to the emergency circumstances of the COVID-19 pandemic and will continue to be studied after provision of the vaccines to purchaser under this agreement. Purchaser further acknowledges that the long-term effects and efficacy of the vaccine are not currently known, and there may be adverse effects of the vaccine that are not currently known. Further, to the extent applicable, purchaser acknowledges that the product shall not be serialized.
So, in short, hey, folks, we're making this thing really quickly, and, hey, we don't know if it's going to work, efficacy. We don't know if it's going to work, and we don't know what it's going to do to you over the long haul after you take it. But later in the contract, you do acknowledge that any lawsuits you bring will be indemnified to you by your own government because we're not involved.
Yeah, the government will be on the hook for all of Pfizer's defense costs and settlements or judgments against thereof.
Now, it's a decent contract. I mean, I see that
From
kind of stuff
Pfizer's
all the
perspective?
time. Yeah, but at the same time, they basically say in their we have no idea. We don't know what's in this. It's being evaluated as we go forward. We don't have any idea if it's going to work, and that's pretty much where we're at.
Even though that's what the contract says, but the contract they made with the people, us,
you've got to get this jab.
It's going to work. It's going to save your life. It's going to
get it.
95% efficacy. Remember that?
Yeah.
They were saying this thing was going to work at a rate of 95% and it would stop the virus and we would be shut down for 2 weeks.
Just 2 weeks.
Just 2 weeks
we're
to flatten
right back
the curve.
to work.
And everything's back.
Steve Kidder says, I wish my last date came with that warning.
They lied to us, folks. And the contracts are bearing that out. They have no clue. They still have no clue. And then Megyn Kelly comes out, and her doctor believe her autoimmune deficiency she now has a direct result of the jab, which she got, thinking it was going to protect her. 3 weeks later, she gets COVID. Her sister, a few years older, jabbed, heart attack, dead.
Unbelievable. You know, I'm looking at H.R. Mallory over there, and I bet it takes that man 45 minutes to get dressed in the morning.
Well, he's got to put on
He's
all
got
those
a badge,
patches and badges.
Every time you wear a different shirt, you got to move all that gear over.
We don't need no stinking badges.
You don't need no. Look, he's got a badge there. He's got a badge hanging on his right hip.
Badge off the
There's
pocket.
guns. There's tasers. There's name tags.
Then he's got to be clean shaven.
Got the bat belt. There's patent leather.
His hair's about as long as I've ever seen it.
I've
though.
never seen him so shaggy.
He's going to Potts. He's moving to Corpus. They let him do different things in Corpus Christi.
They run a different kind of ship down there. Let's get him over here. Look, you've actually got a headphone that works now. You can put that on, play radio.
I'll move the.
Are you going to do that?
Yeah, I'll move the camera for you.
Go move the camera for him. That's a good move. That's good bingo. Looky there. The man in the big hat is buying. Give me some volume on microphone 3 there. There you go. Good morning, my friend. How are you?
Morning, guys. Good to see y'all again.
Good to see you.
Everybody's favorite trooper.
You are looking a little shaggy. But you know, when you've got that much gear on, this is when I was a kid growing up, and HR he'll neither admit nor acknowledge anything to do with quotas or any of that kind of stuff. When I was a kid growing up, it was understood that a police officer might come up, talk to you, ma'am, did you know that your taillight's out? Let's slow it down a little bit here in the school zone, and send you on down the road to the donut shop. But if a state trooper got out of his car, you were getting a ticket.
You were in trouble.
That was the deal. You know why? He's got a 75-pound uniform on. He's like, if I'm getting out of the car, I want some butts. Yeah. Unbelievable. You're lucky. Would you rather have a ticket or I can give you a warning and tase you. Because somebody's going to pay the price because I had to get out of that cool, comfortable Tahoe.
The goal is voluntary compliance with the law.
There you go. There you go.
Sometimes that's achieved with a warning. Sometimes you need a little bit more stern reminder.
There you have it. Yeah, if it's the third time that week that it was 90 and a 55, I'm probably going to have to write you up. Hey, Fred. Hey, Bill. Sorry. How are you, sir?
Doing good.
Tell us about, I think the more applause may be in order.
Stuart Martin says, legend has it the wife claims the HR stands for handsome rascal.
That's true. It's true. You know what? He might trade handsome rascal for what it does stand for. Tell us about the promotion and what's going on in
Martin,
your world.
President of the HR Mallory fan club.
Yeah.
Right. Stratosky says it's the hourly rate of tickets issued. Yeah, it's like you get like a trading card. HR's got a 4-to-1 ratio. 4 tickets for every hour worked. He's leading the league.
People think HR stands for hourly rate. Nope.
Hourly rate.
Hourly rate.
It's his name. It's his initials.
His initials. Harold Robert.
There you go.
That's what my dad and mom named me.
He's got
I would hope they did.
Harry, Harold, Robert, Robbie.
I always thought it was the pack of wolves that you were raised by that named you.
Yeah, no kidding.
Now, so on July 1st, I started as the Safety and Education and Media Communications Sergeant down in the Corpus District. So
this
working the road.
This troubles us in the Victoria region.
Yeah, we're not happy.
We lost our HR.
We lost our guy.
Your HR rep, yeah.
So what do you do?
So it's, I deal with the media a lot. So with when we have fatality crashes or crashes in general or anything that the media is requesting about, I respond to those requests. But the big part of my job now is doing safety education with the public. So the big thing I spent the last month and a half doing was going around talking to all the school bus drivers about back to school safety for them and just reminding them a couple things about them and what they need to be aware of to keep their licenses, things like that. So
their role in school safety. What's the biggest thing that school bus drivers, according to the data that I'm sure you're given, what's the one thing school bus drivers need a reminder on?
What do they screw up the most?
I think they're very well aware of the dangers that they face on the road every day. But I think the big thing to remind them of is that the most dangerous time for them is when they're loading and unloading those kids. And I think the statistics bear out we lose 11 school-age children across the country every year during that time period. And I keep telling them, well, you're going to go do this 15 times in the morning, and then you're going to go do it 15 times in the afternoon. And the most important thing is to make sure that where all those kids have gotten off the bus to, because the majority of those kids end up getting underneath the bus, behind the bus, or something. They get backed over that way, and we don't want to see that. And then you've also got the idiots who don't stop for the flashing red lights.
And that's who ought to be rung up quick. When the bus stops and the little automatic stop sign swings out, it means stop.
Yes.
And there's a reason, because that little child can get off the bus, run in front of the bus, and into your headlights, and then there's problems.
Yes.
I saw it the other day.
Well,
didn't get hit, but just got off the bus and just trucked it. Turned left in front of the truck and boom.
That's the most important thing is that when you see those stop signs, or when you see a school bus in general, it's okay, where are the kids going to come from? Because if that thing is moving around the city streets, there's going to be kids around it.
So Ash, when he's here, he's family. You know that.
I know that.
It's what is it? Who's that? When you're here, you're family. Some restaurant? I think.
Yeah, it's got to be
Steak and Langostino. Anyway.
Andrew Alvarez checking in. Junior Samples says, HR, tell us about the cell phone law.
Perfectly calm with, Corpus is bad about cell phones. Man, don't. You got to be.
Is there a new cell phone law that went into effect September 1?
I'm aware of.
No, that you're aware of?
I mean,
there are only 700 of them, right?
There's only 700 new laws,
yeah.
Here's my deal. When he's here, he's relaxed and comfortable. He's just HR. He's our guy. He's one of the boys. You should have seen him on Pick a News Channel, KIII or whatever.
Chris 6, yeah.
He's on there last week.
This is what I get for sharing with my friends.
He's on there last week, and he's just chirping away, just doing HR things, and she's enamored with him. Oh, Trooper Mallory, tell us about this. And HR's talking to her, and she's just like, oh, she's melting in her seat. And,
got a thing for men in a uniform, apparently.
They all do. And all of a sudden, HR goes, well, when you're taking out, you're like, and he like fumbles, fumble, looked like Tony Romo on an extra point, and he drops his license, and it goes to the ground, and he covered it well except for the obligatory. he gave her a little. Are you striking? I mean, it was like Scooby Doo, and I went, dude, because. To be honest, and I watched it several times because I really was enamored with it. The funny thing was, she was the only person that saw that he dropped it. He could have just laid it off. He was just going to whip out his license, but instead he dropped it. What exactly happened there in the exchange? It's like the double play ball. You caught the ball at second, but as you turned to go to first, the ball came out of your glove. We're going to call the runner out, but the guys save it first, and we call that a fielder's choice.
And no error, yeah.
No error. So I'm going to give you an error on that one, but I want to know exactly what happened because I know you've played it over in your mind several times.
We were talking about safety tips for the Labor Day weekend, and the question was about what you should do if you broke down on the side of the road. And I was going to hold up my driver. I had it set on the table. I was going to pick up my driver's license.
You had a prop.
I had a prop. I was going to pull up my driver's license and be like, hey, there's this number on the back of your card that you can call if you need assistance.
There you go.
And as soon as I went to pick it up, dropped it on the floor.
At least you didn't do like Ash would have had some Canadian expletive would have come out, and it would have been like all of a sudden we're going to cut to a commercial. Unbelievable.
And that was former Trooper Ash.
Right. Right.
Peter Agnelli asked, are seatbelts required to be worn on school buses?
No, there's no requirement.
You know why? Because there's not any.
No, actually there is. So that's a good question, Pete. School districts are now required when they buy a new bus from 2018 on for that bus to be equipped with seatbelts. And school districts are required by the Texas Education Code to have a policy on students wearing seatbelts on the bus. But there's no enforcement action we can take for students not wearing seatbelts. Now, if they're up in the aisles and stuff like that, we can take that action.
Are they lap belts and not?
No, they're 3-point
really?
3-point shoulder harnesses. Yeah. So
we have them on all of our
honest,
buses now.
What's
I had no idea.
We have them on all of our buses.
If they're 2018 or newer, they're required to be.
Oh, that doesn't apply to Victoria.
No, VISD's not buying new buses.
Apply to Victoria. Well, then they ought to all have.
I mean,
I've always wondered that because when I was a kid, everything was so utilitarian. The frame of the seat was a metal tube, and there was a metal back on it. And I'm like, if they hit I was smart enough to go, if they hit the brakes, you better put your hands up. You're going to bang your dome off that.
Yeah, I'd rather break your arms than your neck. And then they put padding on that. You were probably too old for that.
Yeah.
No. That was the latest safety invention in the 70s. They padded that metal bar.
By then, in the 70s, by then I was a senior and my dad was dropping me off at school where men were kissing in the mornings.
Oh, you grew up in Scranton?
I grew up in Scranton.
Oh, I had no idea.
I was like, Dad, what is that, Dad?
What is that, Dad? Why
are
two men
kissing?
kissing?
They
Tom
just
Price
love
checking
each
in, Buddy Stavanoa, good morning.
Yeah, statistically, school buses are still the safest way for kids to get to school.
Well,
every
unless
day.
they could take an airplane. That would statistically be the safest.
But, when they do test the school buses in crashes, it's always a front crash. It's to the front.
Yeah, if it hits you on the side, I don't want a seatbelt. I want to be thrown clear.
Yeah.
I'm kidding.
I always sat in an exit row because there's lights and exits. That's where,
Were you that guy at the back that would lift that handle up just a little bit to get the alarm going?
Just to see what happens.
Just to see what happened. Roy Gutierrez asked Brent, they had buses back then?
Stop it.
They were horse-drawn, Roy.
Yeah, my sophomore year, they put a bag under the horse so that it quit pooping on the street. Before that, it was just a free-for-all.
Free-for-all. And if the horse really let one go, everybody in the front row got it, too.
Is that not the best Bud Light commercial ever where the guy's out there being all romantic and he gives the girl the candle and the horse raises his tail and just burns her up?
I saw one the other day. Somebody shared one. I can't remember the exact.
That's back when Bud Light was really beer.
Can't remember the one. It's a blind date, and he lets her in the car, and he goes around, and she gets in the car, and she lifts her cheek and lets one rip. And there's two people in the back seat. Oh, have you met so-and-so?
Have you seen that?
I think it was like he had to drop his parents off or something.
So funny. Yeah, she just like rips one. She thinks she's so cute and funny.
Junior Sample says Brent had padding in the short bus. Short carriage. It was a carriage, they called them. Scott Tomko says.
A gentleman's coach. We're joined by our buddy and
Hey,
highly
yeah.
decorated, highly respected, and great friend, H.R. Mallory. How are the kids? How's Colton? What's going on?
He's doing good. He just started back to school Tuesday. So
Did I hear McKenna's playing sports?
she was playing softball or baseball last spring with Stuart Martin's kids. They were playing baseball together, so they had a good time.
Awesome.
The whole family make the move? Or are you like commuting?
Yeah, I'm staying in a travel trailer down in Rockport because if I got to be away from the family, might as well be at the beach. So.
Right. That's nice. It's like it's
Did
like
they send the dog with you?
She's been tempted a few times.
what is the Mel Gibson movie? Mel Gibson, Danny Glover.
Lethal Weapon?
Yeah, he's living in a trailer down
Yeah.
right by the water.
You got a escape hatch underneath just in case some helicopter comes and
Nah,
strafes you?
He's got bongos. He's got a guitar. Come on by. We're gonna build a bonfire.
Him and Matthew McConaughey are hanging
Right?
out down
Just
in
burn
Rockport.
those old uniforms. You look sharp. You do. You look. Well, tell me about. I'm not used to the switchblade thing you've got there.
whatever. Just an ID badge.
That's your
That's
ID
how I get.
badge?
That's how I get in the door.
There you go. They don't.
I don't
make it.
remember that being part of your
I
uniform.
don't remember that being.
Is that a Twisted Sister pin on your uniform?
right? Is that a pledge pin?
There's Brent Anderson checking in. Update us on the. I know we're heading to that time of year, or we've just passed that time of year, so the next one's coming. But how did the commemorative patch go for autism awareness? How'd that campaign go this year?
It went good. It went good this last year. We
Sold them out
We
in a-
sold.
in a
We sold.
heartbeat
We sold them
again,
out
right?
quick. Yeah,
Yeah.
we didn't get as many as we should
I
have.
was gonna say when you sell something out that quick, it just means you didn't buy enough of it.
Yeah, exactly. So it went well. We benefited branching out up there at the Vine School, so that was nice. And yeah, I got to start working on designing next year's patch.
Because that's you, right? You're
Yeah,
the
yeah,
you're the chief designer.
Chief designer, yeah.
Chief
That's
designer
awesome.
and safety officer.
But you know, when you don't buy enough of them, they become collector's items, and they'll be huge on the secondary market for folks.
That doesn't help the Vine School.
No, but it helps the collectors.
The Advocate could sell them a portion of the proceeds from this Hurricane Harvey commemorative book. A portion will go to the victims.
What are some of the 700 laws that went into effect? What are some of the biggest ones maybe that motorists need to know, or that you as troopers
It's not an attorney.
are being affected by?
It's like I don't know.
Anything that
I think that a couple of the biggest ones that is now, if you are convicted of intoxication manslaughter, you are required to pay child support to your victims' children until they turn 18 or graduate high school.
I think that's a great law.
whichever comes first. Yeah.
Don't you? That's a great. That's like making the law applicable. Because you can say, yeah, okay, I was drunk. I didn't mean to kill that guy. Didn't mean to kill the breadwinner or that lady. But now, guess what? You'll be reminded forever because, yeah, okay, it was your fault. You weren't malicious in your stupidity, but you caused a problem, so now you can pay for it forever. I like that.
Yeah.
That's good stuff.
I like it in theory. I'm just wondering if I mean, I don't know, the tracking down. We got enough deadbeat folks out there.
I bet they'll put you in jail for that one.
Well, there comes the problem, right? How are you going to get money out of them when they're in jail? I don't know, but I like the law in theory. Steve Kidder says, no longer illegal to walk on the street if there is no sidewalk.
There you go.
I had no idea. Where were you supposed to walk? You were supposed to swing in the trees?
Jan Scott's just fired up right now. Sidewalks. We
Sidewalks,
can build
sidewalks,
sidewalks.
sidewalks.
Let's build more sidewalks. Awesome. What else is happening? You have to go to Corpus today?
No, I'm actually here in Victoria Aquario today.
Spreading
So-
safety.
Yeah, I'm meeting with one of the schools I work with down there is asked to do the Shattered Dreams program for their Red Ribbon Week. So I'm meeting with somebody who's got a little bit more experience putting that on together, so I can make sure I do it right.
That's a pretty moving experience for those that take part in that. If you've never
Which one is
Shattered
that?
Dreams one? That's the drunk driving.
Where they bring the car to the school.
Yeah, bring
Yeah,
the wrecked
and-
cars and we do the reenactment. We
Call
have-
parents, tell them their kid's dead. It's pretty emotional for all those involved.
So, wait a minute. They, for a short period of time, dupe the parents?
No,
The parents are in, but the parents still.
Okay.
but we show everything. We don't hold anything
Yeah.
back from these kids about what's gonna happen.
Right.
What
But
the-
they come to you at like your place of work to let you know. It's like, I mean, the whole thing's played out like it actually happened, and it's pretty scary,
That's tragic.
pretty sobering, to be honest.
Yeah. Oh, nice pun.
Yeah. Hopefully it changes decisions.
Yeah. We
Katina
used to
Arterberry
have.
checking in.
We used to. I think even when I was in high school, they would once a year bring like this guy. This was driven by a 17-year-old kid. And they didn't even mention alcohol. Just like you got to be careful with what you're doing. The truck was just mangled. So I know you see it for real. So it's a long day. You got time to hang around for a minute?
Yeah.
All right, hang on. Let's see. Let's do something, folks.
Yeah,
real
we
quick.
didn't do a break. We haven't done a break yet.
Allen's Record Service. If you do end up in a fender bender, call Allen's Record Service, 578-6300. Let Allen be your go-to toe-to like he is for us. The VCS companies power the Wade and Carter program. The new iPhone 15, it's going to be great. It's going to be terrific. The VEDC model, it's about to be here. Economic Development Phone, it'll be here. It's going to be super. Can't wait. Get it.
Apple worried about the new Huawei. We'll get to that.
Yeah, Palace Bingo. Friends meet friends. Let's do it. Tuesday the 26th.
Yes.
Mostly because that's my birthday.
Oh, hey, even
Yeah.
better.
Yeah.
Super Tuesday at Palace Bingo.
Come celebrate my birthday Tuesday the 26th at Palace Bingo, where friends meet friends.
For Brent's birthday.
Gray Barn Design. Walk in, find Cheryl.
She sold the set.
The Perky set are gone.
Gone. Sold them. The chairs are gone.
She's still there.
She's still there.
Go by and see Cheryl, Gray Barn Mercantile, right there on
Actually,
Airline.
I think she's at market today in Houston, believe it or not. So
Somebody will
trying
be
to
there.
find new
10
stuff.
inch.
Yeah, Laura will be there.
Airline down around Laurent. And then right away, by the way, right down the hallway, right down the sidewalk,
From Parvita Wellness.
Harvey to Wellness. Wow.
You and I both, without planning it, had the
No.
same dinner last night. The what was it?
I had the
what's it called?
cilantro
There you go.
chicken.
Thank you.
It came with black beans and rice, and it came with a green. It was not a gravy. It was more of a
It's
sauce.
a sauce.
And I took the sauce out, heated it,
That's
2 minutes.
That's exactly what I did on
Poured the
on
sauce in
7.
there, stirred it up. I did it on 6. And stirred it up. I like mine because then I puree it because I'm old. But I stirred it all up and ate that. 480
Mix it
calories.
in with your Ensure.
Right. Had that and a protein shake, a laxative. Went to bed. No, it was fantastic. Parvita, the food is awesome.
It was really good.
And like people are like, oh yeah, whatever. They're doing an ad for these people. I actually look forward to trying a new one. Like, what is this going to be? Because I haven't had anything yet that wasn't fantastic. I've had like a cabbage roll. The food is phenomenal, and you're you're full. It's
Surprising because you look at it and you go, there's no way. And then
no way
you
that's
eat
gonna
it, and I'm
fill
like,
me
yeah, this is actually, because it just shows you how we've been conditioned to have such large portions. Nowadays,
I held my dinner right there in the palm of my hand. Wonderful. Go by and see Erica Briggs and Gina Pena and the group that's there. Paravita, for life. Go check it out this week. What else
look
you
at
got?
Junior Samples already excited to be there
Oh,
for
bingo.
your birthday and bingo.
Not next Tuesday,
No.
but the next Tuesday. Maybe or the next Tuesday. I don't know. Where friends meet friends.
What birthday is this?
Mine, 61. It's a meaningless birthday.
Kind of is, isn't
It's
it?
kind of like, okay, so you turn 10, you're in double digits. You turn 11, that's kind of meaningless.
13,
12,
you become a teenager.
13, 14, 15, loser birthdays.
16, you can drive.
Yeah, 17.
18, back home, you can drink.
Yeah, which is important in Canada.
It is. That's how
You
you,
can
get through.
drink.
That's how you get through the winters.
Legally,
Legally get into bars,
right? Because most Canadian kids start drinking at about 6.
pretty much.
Yeah. So they start again. Their parents
Yeah,
used to give them a
well,
little Jameson to get them to sleep when they were babies.
Well, that's how they kickstart your heart when you're born. Doctors up there don't slap you; they give you a shot of whiskey.
Isn't that something? Shot, shot, shot.
B Small is going at this point. HR's thinking he could have slept an extra hour.
Wow. B Small needs to come see us. He is
B Small was conspicuously absent this week as the Astros are putting a drubbing on his Texas Rangers as we enter the Astros report brought to you by the fine folks at First State Bank.
Beyond a drubbing. The Astros deserved a day off after scoring like, I
There's
don't
a
know,
Canadian
50
term for it,
runs.
but I can't say it on the air.
You can't?
No. I'll use the light. It was an ass whooping. I'll use the lighter Canadian
There
term.
you go.
Because the other one, poop kicking.
Oh, yeah.
There we
you
go. That was the term. We fed you your lunch, Texas Rangers. Fed you your lunch, Texas Rangers.
Could it have gone any worse for the Rangers? And at the end of the day, they bring out their Hall of Fame pitcher, Max Scherzer, and he just gets run out of the game in the second.
That's future Hall of Famer, just to be accurate.
First ballot. If nothing else, he's a cyborg. He's got like one brown eye, one blue eye.
And he's a stud. Laid an egg.
Well, the Astros bats are so hot, there's nobody to pitch to. You don't know who to pitch to in that lineup. That said, Astros tee it up tonight with who?
Who do they have this weekend?
It's the A's next week.
Oh, it's a team we should beat, the Padres.
Padres.
Yeah, we should beat the Padres.
By the way, make a note, the Padres still have players that get paid to play.
True story.
Could be a tough game. So but and there weren't. I don't think the Mariners played last night. There was a pretty light schedule because the MLB knew that the NFL was kicking off and nobody's going to watch a bunch of meaningless games, so they didn't bother. Right there, you go. Astros update brought to you by the great folks at First State Bank of Louise. Make a note that since FSB Louise came on board with Wade and Carter, the Astros have been dominating baseball. I look for the Astros to continue to play very, very well. They've got a series coming up, unfortunately, at home with the Baltimore Orioles. It could be tough.
Oh, Seattle actually edged the Tampa Bay Rays last night, so we're a half game up.
We're a half game up. Controlling our own destiny.
Yep.
Outplay them from hinder the way. Here's the deal. You still got to win. Astros not worried about making the playoffs. You still got to win. You got to get to the playoffs and beat somebody else, go to the World Series.
Yep.
That's what happens.
I was watching the U.S. Open last night, and I probably saw the second last point in the match between Coco Gauff, the 19-year-old American player. Very good. No, he played in the. That was Coco Crisp. Played back when you were a kid, right?
Right.
Where is it?
Coco Gauff. Did Coco win?
Yeah, in 2 sets against the number 10 seed from the Czech Republic, Muchova, I think. I can't remember her first name.
Muchova.
6-4, 7-5, straight set win, but it was hard fought. And the second to last point, Goff won it, up 6-5. And I don't know that I have seen a better point played in all of my years of watching tennis. One of the longest points I've ever watched. One of the points where amazing shots were made, where you thought, okay, that's the point. And then the other player was able to return it both ways. It was so, and then I think Goff put it away on a running forehand winner, and then served out for the win.
Now HR's really thinking he could have slept in. So
she will not face Madison Keys, the other American in the semifinal, because she lost to the soon-to-be number 1 player in the world, Sabalenka, who came out, lost 6-0 first set, and was on her way to just getting her butt kicked because she looked uninspired. Then got mad at herself and came back and won it in two straight, 7-6, 7-6.
Ash really likes tennis because he can say all those Slavic names, you know.
It takes me back
the Astros.
Takes me back to my roots.
The Cobras. We went to East Bernard yesterday. You would think there's some bohunks in East Bernard, right? I mean, right?
You would think.
Bohemians. We get over there and there's a Charbula. Charbula, Charbula. The guy called his name Chirlava. He tried to make it Spanish, and our crowd laughed. There's a kid there named Kalajizik, and which, by the way, I know it sounds like some, oh man, my Kalajizik flared up. But the kid's last name, there's 13 letters in his last name, and there's only 2 vowels.
Yeah, that's it.
And it's like GZXCK.
Oh yeah, they're a mess.
It's like the end of it,
It's not Mallory.
And I joke with him. I joke with the dad because when he called him Koblachek is what he called him, Koblachek. The kid's name's Kalajizik. And I told the dad, I said, your great-great-grandfather must have really popped off at Ellis Island. They said, yeah, well, here, take these extra 6 letters. Teach your kids how to spell that for the next 5 generations.
Because if they wanted to just get rid of you, they dropped letters off your name.
Right.
At Ellis Island, right?
Smith. Instead of Smith. Oh, you're a Smith? Smith here.
Yeah.
HR, how do you feel about your Aggies this weekend playing at Miami? They're a 4-point favorite.
Oh, they're going to win.
You think so?
You think they're going to win, huh?
Did y'all mention that they did? They beat the spread?
Yeah, we did. We did
Okay.
mention that. Yes.
Okay.
By the way, if HR pulls you over and you'd like to place a small wager, he also keeps a separate safety first. He'll take the bet at your passenger window.
It's not Montana where you could at one point. I don't know if you still can. You used to be able
you
to
can just write
pay
your-
the cops.
Right, pay the
right
cops.
there. Yep.
Yeah, we don't.
It's all good.
Pay the fine right there.
Who was the comedian? Here's $40. I'm going to speed through your whole crappy state. Because they were $5 fines, I think, at one point.
Brian Small says, HR, just quietly take off your headphones and slither out. They won't even notice.
Scott Tomko says you're here for the eye candy.
There you go.
Steve Kidder says script 5 minutes interview guest, 35 minutes ignore guest. We haven't ignored the guest. He's not a guest. He's family. He's like third co-host today.
What terrible restaurant is that when you're here, your family? Applebee's. That's what that is.
I tell you what, if
family.
my mom would have cooked like Applebee's, I would never have eaten at home.
Like, hey, sis, can I get a glass of tea? Unbelievable.
We haven't cut him off his mic, B Small. Don't start spreading rumors.
He's small.
Man.
He's awesome. B Small's awesome. Makes me laugh. And you know, when the show makes you laugh, that's usually not good radio.
No.
That used to be my biggest fear when Ash and I first started, because Ash can make me laugh. I mean, we'll be on the phone, and some days I'm just like, I can't handle it, you know. And I used to have this, and I told you this when we first started. He goes, well, you know, what are you worried about? What are you anxious about being on the air? I said, nothing about what I know and the way I feel, because I'm consistent. I know what I believe. But I said, I am concerned that you're going to say something, and because of the anxiety, I'm going to get tickled, and then I'm just going to be worthless, just sitting over here laughing. And you do see it every now and then, and it is an infectious, contagious deal when a broadcaster gets, and Charlie Steiner was the best at it, he would get tickled about something, and he'd be trying to read his prompter, but then he would unashamedly just burst into laughter.
I'm pretty sure the producers and those that wrote did stuff to Charlie just to do that. But that was back when ESPN mattered.
It was so good back then.
Let's turn it serious for a minute, because there was an incident.
College Jesus, spell that.
I don't want to. Might. B Small says that's what this is, broadcasting. Yes, Brian, it is.
Brian, this is paid professional broadcasting.
Yes, this is how
we
the
get
pros
paid
do
to
it.
do this.
Not much, which is which is obvious. But yesterday, tragic accident on the north side of town. A young child, I think 3-year-old toddler, somehow was shot in a vehicle. No crime, according to the police update I saw yesterday. So they're not going to charge any criminal files or file any criminal charges against anybody yet, I don't think. But a 3-year-old was shot in a car.
Yeah, I haven't pieced it together. Do you have details?
I don't have any details.
He's a state trooper. He's not VPD. He doesn't know these things.
No, but they
talk
hear
at
each
coffee
other's
at Ramsey's
radios.
later. But
Right, yeah. And I did reach out to David Brogger, and David was covered up this morning and couldn't come in. But if I'm piecing it together, what I think may have happened, mom had a weapon in her purse, maybe, something like this, gets in the car, the baby's in the back seat, throws the purse in the back seat, the baby's digging through the purse, and next thing you know, I don't think it's as simple as the baby puts gun to head and pulls the trigger. I think the baby was probably messing. I wouldn't be surprised if a thumb made the weapon go off. The baby's messing with the gun. I don't know.
Safety was off.
Yeah, I just know that you've got to be vigilant. You've got to be,
And the child was taken to an area hospital in
Yes, I
critical
don't know.
condition yesterday. I shot in the head, I believe.
Yes, that's what I was told.
But I don't know the update this morning.
Happened right there on Navarro, right across between Frost and Denny's. So,
Yeah, 7600 block.
Very sad.
North Lanes, I believe.
Gotta keep positive control of any weapon that you have in your possession at all times.
there you go. It's got to be a cognizant thought, a constant, vigilant care.
B Small says the guy with the scoop couldn't make it, so we called HR.
That's right. We just need a man in uniform.
Somebody here for this.
Somebody in uniform. And then HR goes, I have no comment. It's an ongoing investigation. I can't really make a comment at this point. It's out of my jurisdiction, and it's not my department.
It's their investigation.
Scott Tomko says
pretty simple.
Yeah. Scott Tom, and here we go. Scott Tomko, child should be in a car seat. Gun and purse shouldn't be near the child. Prayers to the child and the family.
Amen.
Yeah,
that sums it up. I agree 100%.
Steve Kidder, it's extreme carelessness. Can't believe the mom isn't being charged.
I do think it's child endangerment. I personally, it's like, how are you going to do that?
If they walked into a bedroom and grabbed the gun out of a drawer,
child endangerment.
Yeah, absolutely. But all of a sudden, because I don't know, I'm conflicted on this one. But
you know what? Where the level of irk, if you're following the irk meter, the level is right there with every year. You see where the kid suffocates in the back of the car because dad was just going to go into Best Buy for a second, but then he got caught up over there at the return desk, and the next thing you know, the kid dies. Yeah. It's like, you're like, how did that happen? Just bad parenting. Bad parenting. So prayers for the family. Let's hope this kid gets well. I have no idea who the child is. I have no idea if the family's local. I just know that the incident was local. I have to give you the Caden JV football update.
And that was the first thing I thought of. Like, how does this happen? How does a 3-year-old who's supposed to be in a car seat
may have been in a car seat, may have been able to reach down and get into the purse? You seen the size of some of these purses lately?
See the size of some of these car seats and how restrictive they are?
It's true. You can't even eat your Cheerios anymore.
No, you can't grab them. Can't reach them.
The Caden JV football update yesterday, Cobras dominate in East Bernard, 25-8. My own Caden Petru.
How'd he do?
21 carries, 150 yards, 3 touchdowns.
Nobody's counting.
Right.
Brent is.
JV stats aren't official.
That's a true story. I remind him of that. Now, hey, great game. Empty the dishwasher. Now, don't fumble.
Got to keep him humble.
Dishes.
Yeah, he doesn't drop a football, but you got to buy a new set of dishes every 2 weeks.
Good kid, but he looks like he's been in the ring with the Von Erichs. Every day he comes home, he's just beat up, chewed up, bite marks, bleeding. That's just class.
Yeah.
Much less
and
football.
He goes to football. He looks forward to football.
Yeah.
It's a break.
No doubt.
Good for him. I'm glad he's enjoying it and he's doing well.
He's having a good time. They're fun. Man, it was hot.
I hope it's not like pro sports. If they bring him up to varsity.
It's nothing like pro sports.
No, but I hope if they do bring him up to varsity, he doesn't just sit on the bench and wither away.
And I think that's what Coach Nairn's doing a great job of, is bringing him along. Don said 3 touchdowns. If they bring him up.
That's what you said.
I thought so. If they bring him up, I hope it's not to be a backup. I'd rather him get the carries, yeah.
Well, even if he got 10 carries a game, that's better at that level. That's better than nothing. But to just sit on the bench to experience the varsity, that's not experience.
Yeah.
You're not learning nothing.
That's like when Dawn and I went on our honeymoon. At least she let me participate. I didn't just sit. I got a couple carries, I didn't just sit on. Rico, the pool boy, was there too.
Yeah, he got more carries than you.
Apparently he was first team. Yeah. But we have to do another
we
commercial.
Need to do
Cheswick Furniture,
right?
Folks. Bobby Leon be proud of that segment. Bobby Leon and Cheswick Furniture for over 100 years, folks. Bobby's family has been taking care of Victorians with all their furniture needs. Best recliners, Tempur-Pedic bedding, Stearns and Foster. Beautiful, beautiful piece goods. Get down to Cheswick Furniture and see why you just always do better at Cheswick. Vera Cruz, today's your last day, HR. Get in there
today because
you already asking. So.
You better get by there. That's one of y'all's favorite spots. I know, and I know when you're not in town. By the way, I'll give you a good place in Corpus when we get off the air. Vera Cruz for the best Mexican food in town. Get by there. Atzenhofer. Tommy Taylor sent me a note last night.
Yeah, because 9/11 is Monday.
And Tommy Taylor said, at Atzenhofer, when the flags are flying, people are buying. We always say they're down the road from higher prices, right there on the Vera Motor Mile. You can
I like how we just added another cliche to our list.
If you don't buy it today, they'll be there tomorrow. You could buy it somewhere else, but then you got to drive it.
They're selling cars like candy bars,
if
stacking
the flags
them deep, selling
are flying,
them cheap.
People are buying. So get by Atzenhofer, by the way, where the American flag is always proudly displayed.
Absolutely.
Get by
Which means they're always buying.
That's exactly right. Chevy, Mazda, Mitsubishi. Go check out the new Mazda
CX-90.
Very nice vehicle. You'll be thrilled.
I like
AJ's
it in a sort of
detailing.
candy apple red color. It's a pretty pretty
You
nice
folks
car.
go check out Dawn Nicole's Facebook page.
Yeah, go to the Facebook page. That'll do AJ's detailing justice.
Wow.
We
Her
can't really talk about it, but
Escalade
check out
looks
the Facebook page.
amazing. Go check it out. Armor Air 579-0966.
You've got issues with your AC, give them a call.
And if you don't, you will. We're just trying to keep it top of mind for you. I get these texts all the time. Who is that guy you advertise for? I go, USA Concrete Coatings. Yeah. What does that guy do? Well, he can level your slab. He can go out there and fill in the cracks, put down a tough as nails polyurethane coating with crack steel peel fade. Transform that drab slab into a dream surface. And they're like,
Nice.
okay, what's his number? 578-HOME. Like, reach out to him. White Trash Services.
550-1826. Give them a call for all your weekly trash collection needs in Victoria and the 6 contiguous counties. If you need a roll-off dumpster.
Went Services for all your generator needs. Wow.
And the chop and block. Today should be Beef Rib Friday.
Oh, dino ribs. They're big.
I hope they're there.
HR,
not,
if you're
they'll
in
do the short
town
ribs.
after you go to Veracruz, after the kids are happy, whip on by the chop and block right there just south of
Do the
loop.
cooking. Take something home.
Yeah. Fantastic.
So
Chop and
good.
block's great. Don't forget, folks, Wind Services. This time of year, we got Hurricane Lee pounding down on Florida. Category 5. Crazy. Get ready for hurricane season. If not this one, the next one. Turnkey generator service. Wind Services selling you a 24 kW whole house generator. ACs work. Refrigerators work.
Freezer works. You're not going to lose all that deer meat.
Absolutely. Junior Simple says Brent Carter was water boy on the honeymoon. Yeah. Dawn says, geez. Honey, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to bring all of our business out in the public.
3 touchdowns. Was Don referring to the football game or your honeymoon?
I don't know. Rico,
Not
the
sure.
pool guy, was kicking all the extra points. Block that kick. Block that kick.
Funky's in. He says, great show. Thank you, Funky,
Thank you,
for
Funky.
having
Well,
our
he's
back.
only been in for the last
well,
35
that's exactly
seconds.
it. Yeah.
Look
That's
at there.
exactly it.
Renee got the Von Erichs deal.
Yeah.
Sure. She Canadian.
Well, because there's no Von Erichs left to get
Right.
that joke.
Right. She got it on behalf of the Von Erich family. So, HR, what else do you have?
Isn't there a movie coming out about the Von Erichs, I think?
I don't know.
I think so.
I bet you'll watch it.
Wrestled one once.
Scott Tomko, bite your tongue. HR, tell us as we go into summer, into fall, what is it? Tire inflation. I mean, you hear these things. You hear all these cool stats. Where are we at? Batteries failing due to heat. Tire inflation is important.
Batteries, tires. I mean, you should always, anytime you're taking a long road trip, go ahead and check out that vehicle. Make sure it's safe to go. Check out the Department of Public Safety South Texas region page. Not only do we share all these, great safety tips, but man, we highlight all the great things our troopers are doing in and around the South Texas region. So all the pursuits and bailouts and stuff that we're getting, we share
exciting.
videos pretty much every day.
Body cam.
Yeah, it's like
Nice.
police cam watching. It's not live, but get to watch some of the great things our troopers are doing.
Trooper jumps out. There's a guy fleeing on foot. You hear boom, 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 freeze. You know there's going to be a problem there. Tell me about this. Have you been down to the border lately?
I've gone down there a few times, not to work down on the border, but
Just to observe, just to watch.
Just to watch.
Yeah. But I mean,
He's dedicated, folks.
It's still very busy down there. We've got a great video that's coming out today on the South Texas page, highlighting very different pursuits, bailouts, and things like that have been going on, smuggling events.
And you've been down there to work, too, in the past, right?
Yeah. I mean, there's always something going on. If you look, you'll find it, and you don't have to look that hard.
And now the General Accounting Office comes out with a report that the Trump border wall was problematic for sacred historical sites and environmental reasons.
Oh, is that right?
Now, they're trying to vilify the Trump border wall.
Crazy. Well, sir, it's always great to have you here, and we wish you safe travels. Congratulations on your promotion, and those stripes look good on your sleeve.
Thank you.
And you're a fan favorite.
Is
Everybody.
that three? What is that? 3 up, 3 down?
Yeah.
Does that have, is that what a sergeant's badge looks like? Or does that have something to do with longevity?
That's sergeant and highway patrol. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, we appreciate you, folks. If you need something this weekend.
Anything from one of our sponsors, go check them out. They're open.
Check them out. Most of them are open on the weekend. Go by and see Tommy Taylor. This weekend will be a great weekend. to get ready to buy.
He'll want to clear out those 2023s, make way for the 2024s.
There you go. Hope you have a great weekend. We're going to get out of here. It is Friday. We will see you Monday. Ash won't be here Monday.
I won't be here Monday.
I think Junior will be here. Junior.
Yeah, I got invited to go have breakfast with my grandson in honor of, because I think Sunday is Grandparents' Day.
Oh, very nice.
By the way,
Jeannie
Morrison, our state representative, says thank you. It's good to see our DPS protecting us. Thank you for all of our DPS troopers.
Thank you.
We appreciate you, sir, and you're a great sport. We have a great time with you. So
I'll be back.
Tell your family hi. You bet. Folks, we're out of here. Ms. Morrison, have a great weekend, ma'am. See y'all soon.
Bye, folks.
Bye-bye.
Threw my boss out the window and got fined for my last job.